Hey friends, I'm Diane. I think it was Einstein that said, it hasn't been proven that he said it, but he's given credit for saying that insanity is doing things the same way over and over and expecting a different outcome. That is insanity. Well, apparently I was insane at the time because I remarried my ex-husband. My mom had been sick with cancer for about, I don't really remember, 7 to 10 years. And she was in her last stages, And I had been divorced from my ex-husband 2 or 3 years, doing fine, had my own business, taking care of my 4 children. Of course, my ex gave me child support. That one did. The first one never did. However, my mom would talk to me about my ex calling her all the time, and he would talk about me and hoping that I would come back to him. He never dated all that time. He never dated or anything like that. He was just hopeful that I would come back. One day my mom said to me, she probably had a month to live, and she said, if you would just go back to him, I could die in peace knowing that there was someone who was going to take care of you and the kids. You wouldn't be alone. I just wouldn't have to worry about it, because he really loves you, and I think he's changed. Well, all I wanted at the time was for my mom to feel better. So I said, okay, I'll go back to him. So I had to proceed so that she would know that I was serious and was going to do it. So I called him, talked to him about a few different things, and we decided to try it again. And he wanted to get married on my mother's birthday, because I think he knew that I was coming back to him because my mom had wanted me to. I really believe he knew that. So he wanted to get married on my mom's birthday, which was February the 24th. I said, okay. My mom passed on January the 27th. So, as I had promised my dying mom that I would remarry him, I followed through because I made a promise. So, on February the 24th, I was very sick at my stomach. I knew it was a mistake, but I had promised. So we just went to the courthouse. We took Ashley, my daughter, as our witness. We went to the courthouse, had a little ceremony, got married. And when we left the courthouse, we decided to go somewhere and eat. So he took me to Cracker Barrel. Yay, Cracker Barrel. Okay. We said very little, during that lunch. I was thinking, oh crap, here I am again. I don't really know him. What am I doing here? So we left the Cracker Barrel, and of course, I mean, we just got married. Aren't we supposed to go jump in the bed somewhere? Yeah. Okay. All right. What a honeymoon. Wonderful honeymoon. Another wonderful honeymoon. I'm wondering if y'all saw my video on Honeymoon Nightmare. That was our first honeymoon. This was our second. I think they run neck and neck as to what you would consider a good honeymoon. Oh well. I'm going to link that video below if you haven't seen my first honeymoon. So we settled back into our marriage just like it had never had that 2-year break. The same. It was the same. We were not close. We very seldom spoke unless it was about something superficial. Did you pick up some milk coming home? You know, that kind of thing. Just, oh my goodness. Anyway, we never had a close relationship at all. I think he is the type that would be impossible to get close to. And I'm not blaming it all on him. I mean, maybe I wasn't trying this time. I don't know. I'm not going to blame it all on him. Anyway, here we were again, 2 strangers living in the same house. Okay, I'm going to take a break right here and ask you, if you enjoy my videos, to please subscribe, and that like button is very important. It helps the algorithm on my channel. I'd appreciate that. And by the way, I'm going to reiterate this. If you can watch the ads for at least 30 seconds, I think we get paid, myself and other channels that you watch. So I appreciate that. And one more mention. If you're interested in painting little kits that are very easy to paint and very enjoyable, please check out my Etsy shop. The link is below. Thank you very much. Okay, back to the story. This wonderful story. My oldest son had moved to Laramie, Wyoming, of all places. He followed his girlfriend out there, who went out there to get her master's degree in business at the University of Wyoming, which happens to be in Laramie. So they went out there. I think they were there 3 or 4 years, something like that. Anyway, while they were out there, they decided to marry. So my entire family rented this huge van with seat after seat after seat so that we could all ride together and go out there for the wedding. So that's what we did. There was a bunch of us. I think I only had 3 grandchildren at the time, but it was still a bunch of us. So we made that 2-day trip. Took 2 days to drive out there. We had rented motel rooms lined up so we could converse outside, come outside. The weather's there's wonderful, windy and wonderful. And, we would go outside, sit on the curb and talk. I even had an aunt and an uncle who made the trip, went out there for the wedding because she loved my son. She wasn't going to miss his wedding. Thank you, Aunt Barbara. So, my oldest grandson, which happens to be Blaze, I think he was 7, he asked me if he could stay in mine and my husband's room while we were there. Now, he loved my husband. He was only 7, but he was already a golfer, and he was already a good golfer. And he would play golf with my husband. Anyway, he loved both of us, so he wanted to stay in our room, and I said, okay, sure. Well, little did I know that that would make my husband mad. Now, the way he showed me that he was mad, he would not speak to me. He had sometimes would go 2 or 3 weeks without uttering a word to me. And if he had to speak to me, he was looking down. He certainly wasn't looking at me when he had to answer. So that's what I endured that whole honeymoon. I think we were there a week or so. Yeah. Okay, now we have to go home. 2 days in the van again with everyone. We're all kind of tired. You know how it is to travel, especially when you're on your way home and it's going to take 2 days to get there. Everybody's tired going home. So finally, when we got home, I went to my room, our bedroom, got a pair of clean pajamas. I walked out of that room, and I never walked back in that room while he was there. I was done. I couldn't do that anymore. So, my advice is never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, remarry an ex-husband. People do not change. That includes myself. People are who they are. They're not going to change. That is my advice. I thank you for being here, and I will see you the next video.